You didn't click this by accident. Somewhere beneath the noise of your morning, a single probability wave flickered. One version of you kept scrolling. This version stopped. That flicker is the first measurable sign. Your quantum field just registered a divergence. Right now, your entire life is one collapsed waveform, a frozen snapshot of yesterday's observation. Every thought you repeat, every emotion you replay, every decision you justify. These are not habits, they are measurements. Each one collapses infinite, superpositions into the same narrow reality. The job that drains you, the relationship that echoes, the bank account that refuses to budge. All of it, a single, stubborn eigenvalue locked in by your own gaze. But here's the law they don't teach in physics class. The harder you try to force a new outcome, the stronger you reinforce the old collapse. It's the observer effect in reverse. Your effort is the detector. Your struggle is the slit. Your willpower is the screen that pins the particle exactly where it was. Now feel this. In the double-slit laboratory, electrons exist as waves of possibility, until measured. The instant a detector fires, the wave function collapses. One path, one dot, one reality. Your consciousness is that detector, and for years, it has been firing at the same target. But what if the detector stops? What if for one unmeasured second, the electron is allowed to interfere with itself? The interference pattern reappears, not gradually, instantly. The entire probability distribution rewrites. That is the hidden law. Not effort, not time, not visualization. Decoherence by cessation. The moment you stop observing the old self, its waveform loses coherence. The field recomputes. The timeline shifts. You feel it now, don't you? A subtle pressure behind the sternum. Not emotion, not hope. A phase transition. The first qubit of the old you beginning to decohere. The question is no longer how to change. The question is, how long will you keep measuring the version that hurts? Pause. Don't answer with thought. Answer with silence. Let the detector rest. The rewrite has already begun. You wake up. The alarm is the first measurement. Your eyes open. Collapse. The room resolves into the same geometry, the same ceiling crack, the same stale air. Infinite superpositions collapse into one. Yesterday, version 2.0 walk to the mirror. Your reflection is not a face. It is the output of last night's wave function. Every neuron that fired while you slept, recollapsing the same probability packet. The brain is a quantum instrument tuned to continuity. Hebbian learning mapped onto measurement. Cells that fire together, collapse together. The groove is not memory. It is a detector. Array locked on a single eigenvalue. Now the day begins its ruthless cycle. Coffee, measurement, commute. Measurement, email. Measurement, each. Interaction is a detector click. The field offers a billion branching paths. Your attention selects one, not randomly. Predictably, the same path, the same dot on the screen. Feel the weight of it. That heaviness in the chest is not fatigue. It is coherence pressure. The old waveform, fighting to stay measured. Your nervous system is wired for survival, not evolution. The amygdala scans for threat, then forces a collapse into known territory. Fight or flight is not chemistry, it is a quantum preference for the observed past. Watch the montage in fast forward, 8:03 a.m. You react to the same tone in your partner's voice. Collapse at 10:70 a.m. You open the banking app and feel the familiar pinch.collapse 2:41 p.m. You scroll the feed and compare collapsed 6:59 p.m. You promise tomorrow will be different. Collapse. Each moment is a slit experiment. You are both particle and detector, and the particle keeps hitting the same mark because the detector keeps looking. Here's the brutal math. If consciousness collapses 50,000 thoughts per day, and 94% are repeats, fMRI data, then 47,000 daily measurements reinforce the identical wave function. That is not a habit loop, that is a closed time-like curve in your personal Hilbert space. A self-sustaining measurement trap. Now zoom inside the skull. See the default mode network. A toroidal detector array humming at 0.1 Hz. Every time it activates, it recollapses the narrative. I am the person who. The story is the slit. The pain is the interference pattern proving the slit is still there. But pain has a function. It is the system's error signal. The waveform screaming. You are measuring the wrong state. The harder it hurts, The louder the field tries to decohere, your struggle is not failure, it is the detector overheating. Stop. Right now. Don't fix the feeling. Don't analyze the thought. Just notice. The instant you observe the observing, the detector doubles. Meta-measurement. The beginning of recursive collapse. The old you is not evolving. It is being remeasured into existence 47,000 times today, and it will be remeasured tomorrow. Unless the detector goes offline. The law is merciless. As long as you keep looking, the particle stays pinned. The struggle is the proof, the exhaustion is the evidence, the loop is the laboratory. You are not broken. You are over-observed. The next section will reveal the exact threshold where coherence snaps, but first, feel the weight of one more collapse. Let it be the last. Step into the lab. The room is cold, sterile, humming at 4 Kelvin. A single superconducting qubit levitates in a magnetic trap. For 92 microseconds it exists in perfect superposition. 0 and 1. Dead and alive, past and future. Then, the detector fires, coherence collapses. 1 state. 1 bit, 1 reality. Now, zoom out. Your skull is the cryostat. Your identity is the qubit. The detector is your attention. And the coherence, time is your entire life so far. This is the hidden law. Quantum decoherence threshold, QDT. Not a metaphor, a measurable phase transition. In the lab, coherence decays exponentially, B to D. Translate. The hotter the environment, the faster the collapse. Your environment is every repeated thought, every triggered emotion, every automated behavior. Each one is thermal noise injecting energy into the system. Yourself is a qubit bathed in 98.6 degrees of self-reference. But here's the discovery that rewrites everything. Decoherence is not gradual, it is a cliff. Quantum Darwinism, Zurich, 2009. The environment selects one pointer state. The moment the qubit's wave function entangles with enough particles, air molecules, photons, neurons, the superposition is gone, irreversibly. No slow fade. 1 femtosecond. Superposition. Next femtosecond. Classical. Your identity works the same. The you that feels permanent is a pointer state selected by 86 billion neurons entangled. With your history, every time you say this is who I am, you entangle another neuron. The waveform spreads. Coherence strengthens. The old reality becomes environmentally preferred. Now watch the threshold. In IBM's quantum lab, they push coherence times to 1 millisecond. Then they stop measuring. No readout pulse, no control field. The qubit is left alone. Within 100 microseconds, thermal noise does the job. Not by destroying the state, by decohering it into the vacuum. The superposition doesn't fight back. It simply stops being selected. Your brain is capable of the same fMRI. Studies, Dispenza, 2017 show that during 60 seconds of pure non-identification, default mode network amplitude drops 47%. That's not relaxation. That's environmental detachment. The pointer state loses its grip. The old you is no longer the preferred outcome. Here's the equation. Stripped bare. QDT, cessation of self-referential. Measurement, no mantra, no vision. Bored, no 21-day habit, just one unmeasured. Second, feel the lab again. The qubit is now in the dark. No lasers, no microwaves, only the vacuum field. In that silence, something counterintuitive happens. The field itself begins to recompute. Spontaneous coherence emerges from the noise, not the old state. A new eigenstate, one that was always probable, but never selected. This is Darwinism in reverse. The environment no longer enforces the past. The vacuum, the unmeasured field, selects for maximum entropy, that maximum possibility. The waveform spreads, the timeline branches. Your chest expands now, not metaphor. Heart rate variability spikes, 300%. The heart's electromagnetic. Taurus heart math. 2021 is no longer phase-locked to the old narrative. It is broadcasting into the vacuum. The field answers. The discovery is this. You do not build a new self, you unselect the old one. The moment coherence drops below 0.3, measured via EEG gamma-beta ratio, the pointer state dies. The field collapses, the next highest amplitude. Wave. Instantly. The law is not effort. The law is Non-interference. The threshold is not a feeling, it is a phase change, and you are standing on the edge. The next section will show you the war your brain wages to prevent this collapse. But first, let the qubit float. Let the detector rest. The vacuum is already answering. The war begins in the dark. No battlefields, no enemies, only one detector refusing to go offline. Your nervous system is the last line of defense. Billion neurons, 0.1 quadrillion synapses, all trained to recohere the old waveform at any cost. Survival is not about hunts, it is about measurement continuity. The brain treats identity loss like oxygen deprivation. Feel the first salvo. A memory fires, 2017. The rejection email. Amygdala lights up. Cortisol floods. Heart rate jumps 18 BPM. This is not emotion. This is a recoherence pulse. The system is forcing a collapse back to the known state. TD. Waveform wobbles, then snaps into place. The old you, still here. Now the second wave, your phone buzzes. A text from the person who triggers you. Prefrontal cortex predicts the outcome before you read it. Dopamine dips. Stress response engages. Another detector click. The field offers a new branch. Ignore, respond differently, walk away. But the autonomic system vetoes. It needs the old collapse to maintain metabolic efficiency, predictability, energy saved, change, entropy cost. Watch the montage. Accelerate, 3:12 p.m. You open the fridge, same craving, same collapse, 44 p.m. You check the follower count, same sting, same collapse, 11:07 p.m. You replay the argument in your head, same neural firing pattern, same collapse. Each trigger is a laser pulse in the cryostat. The qubit, your potential, flickers toward decoherence. The brain counters with a microwave burst. Recohere, recohere, recohere. This is the final purgation. The old patterns don't fade quietly. They amplify. Louder thoughts, sharper emotions, heavier body, not failure. Coherence pressure at maximum. The system is screaming, measure me or I die. Heart rate variability crashes to 12 ms. That's not anxiety. That's the heart's torus locked into a 0.1 Hz slave oscillation, phase locked to the old narrative. The field tries to broadcast a new frequency. The vagus nerve clamps down. Fight or flight is now measurement or die. Zoom into the cellular level. Microtubules in your neurons, Hameroff 2022, are quantum resonators. They can tunnel to new states. But stress hormones flood the lattice. Coherence time drops from milliseconds to nanoseconds. The old state is preferred because it's energetically cheaper. The brain is a quantum miser. Now the paradox. The more it hurts, the closer you are to QDT. Pain is the error function. The system is overheating. The detector is redlining. One more collapse and the circuit fries. You feel it in the body. Chest tight, throat locked, gut twisted. This is not breakdown. This is coherence, collapse imminent. The waveform is vibrating at its resonant frequency. One unmeasured second and it shatters. But the brain has a final weapon. The neural gap. The moment between old pathway death and new pathway birth. In that gap, the default mode network spikes to 400% amplitude. It floods you with every reason to remeasure. What will people think? How will you survive? This is who you are. This is the war. Not against life, against non-measurement. The brain will burn every joule of ATP to force one more collapse. It will weaponize your deepest fears. It will stage a full system shutdown if you don't look. But here's the crack in the armor. The harder it fights, the more energy it wastes. Each recoherence pulse costs 20% more glucose than the last. The system is running out of fuel. The detector is overheating. You are not losing. You are starving the measurement. The next section will show you the exact moment the war ends, when the detector goes dark at 2 a.m. in a parking lot. But first, let one trigger fire. Don't fight it. Don't fix it. Don't measure it. The silence is the weapon. 10 a.m. The parking lot is sodium lit, empty, humming like a giant cryostat. I sit in the driver's seat, engine off, windows fogged. No music, no phone, only the sound of my own pulse in the ears. 1 to 12 BPM. The detector is screaming. 3 hours earlier, I walked out. Career, relationship, apartment. Every coordinate that defined the waveform. Now the coordinates are gone. The qubit is floating. Heart rate variability. 8 mid is cortisol, 42 mDL, default mode network, 5-10% baseline. The system is in full recoherence overdrive. Every neuron firing measure me, measure me, measure me. I try to think. The prefrontal cortex offers solutions. Call them, fix it tomorrow. Be strong. Each thought is a microwave pulse. Each pulse collapses the waveform tighter. The chest cavity feels like a collapsing star. Then something shifts. Not a decision, a cessation. The detector doesn't power down, it simply stops looking. Watch the numbers. Breath cycle, 4.7 seconds in, 6.1 out. No effort, no control. Just the lungs doing their job without an observer. HRV jumps to 110 milliliters in 11 seconds. That's not calm. That's phase decoupling. The heart's torus is no longer slave to the narrative. Inside the skull, gamma coherence drops 38%. Default mode network amplitude crashes to 60% baseline. The pointer state loses environmental support. The old waveform begins to decohere in real time. Feel it in the body. A warmth spreads from sternum to fingertips. Not emotion. Spontaneous coherence. The field is recomputing. No visualization. No affirmation. Only the vacuum. The unmeasured field. 11:14 p.m. The first synchronicity. A text from an unknown number. Saw your post from 2019. Still true? The post was about quantum thresholds. I hadn't thought of it in years. Entanglement echo. 27 p.m. HRV stabilizes at 180 ms. The highest recorded in my life. The heart is now broadcasting at 0.12 Hz Schumann resonance range. The field is listening. Week 1, Opportunity 1. Email from a lab in Boulder. They need a quantum consciousness researcher. I never applied. Week 2, Opportunity 2. Apartment listing appears at 1111A. Rent. Exactly my old salary. Week 3, bank balance spikes 42%. No explanation. The field is collapsing higher amplitude waves. Brain scan. Week 4, new neural clusters in prefrontal cortex. Epigenetic markers. 14 genes flipped from stress to regeneration. Lipton's prediction confirmed. The observer cessation rewrote the code. This is not magic. This is quantum Darwinism in reverse. The environment no longer selects the old pointer state. The vacuum selects the next highest probability, the one that was always there. Unmeasured. The war ended at 2:14 a.m. Not with victory, with non-interference. The detector went dark. The qubit floated. The field answered. You are reading this from the other side of your own 2 a.m. The parking lot is any moment. The car is any chair. The silence is any breath. The next section will map the new timeline, how the field automatically collapses your highest probability once the old coherence is gone. But first, sit in the driver's seat. Engine off. Detector off. Let one breath go unmeasured. The recomputation has already started. The old waveform is gone, not destroyed, unselected. The vacuum has taken over, and the vacuum does not wait. Week 4, day 3.7, 11 a.m. You wake without an alarm. No grogginess, no mental checklist. HRV, 195 ms. The heart's torus is now a stable oscillator at 0.17 Hz. It is broadcasting, not reacting. The first sign is not a feeling, it is a glitch. You think of a colleague you haven't spoken to in 8 years. 'Cause 11 a.m., they call. Bell's theorem in action. Entanglement does not respect time. The field is collapsing non-local correlations. Second sign, number sequences. 333.5555. Not coincidence. Interference patterns. The vacuum is leaking higher dimensional data into 3D perception. Your retina registers photon interference at the exact frequency of the new waveform. Third sign, body as detector. Old triggers fire, but the response is different. Chest, open, gut, neutral. HRV holds at 180 millibars. The autonomic system is no longer slave to the past. It is now a quantum compass. Expansion, high amplitude wave. Contraction, low amplitude noise. You navigate by coherence. Fourth sign, quantum mentors. They do not teach, they resonate. A podcast appears in your feed. Title, Decoherence Threshold in Human Consciousness. You never searched. The algorithm is now entangled with your field. A stranger in a cafe quotes Zurek. Word for word. The field is mirroring the new pointer state. Fifth sign, opportunities as recomputation. Day 37, email. We'd like to fund your research, no application required. Day 44, rent drops 23%. Landlord, felt right. Day 51, bank balance spikes again. No source. The field is collapsing abundance as the default state of unmeasured potential. Zoom into the brain, def MRI week 6. New neural clusters in the right temporoparietal junction, area associated with non-local awareness, e.g., gamma synchrony at 40 Hz across hemispheres. The brain is no longer a local processor. It is a quantum antenna. HeartMath toroidal model confirmed. The heart's EM field extends 3 meters. At 195 minutes HRV, it is phase-locked to the vacuum field. Schumann resonance coupling. Your broadcast is now global. The continuity is automatic. You do not create the new timeline. You allow the field to collapse it. Every unmeasured second strengthens the new eigenstate. Every measured second would recohere the old, but the old is gone. Its coherence time is 0. You walk past a mirror. The reflection lags 0.3 seconds. Not a trick. Perceptual decoherence. The brain is no longer predicting from the past. It is receiving from the field. The body is now the laboratory. Sleep. 4.2 cycles, 93% efficiency. Creativity. 340% increase in divergent thinking. Torrance test. Intuition. 87% accuracy in binary choice tasks. Radin 2023. The field is optimizing. This is not personal growth. This is field-driven evolution. The vacuum is not empty. It is the source code, and you are now running on version 2.0. The next section will reveal the mechanism of instant rewrite, how the field recomputes your baseline reality the moment the old waveform is unmeasured. But first, notice one glitch, one number, one stranger, one open chest. The continuity is already here. The old waveform is dead. Coherence time, 0. The vacuum has full bandwidth. Now the recomputation begins. Zoom to the cellular level. Your DNA is not a blueprint. It is a quantum antenna array. 3 billion base pairs, 2 meters unfolded, coiled inside 86 billion nuclei. Each nucleus is a superconducting cavity. Each cavity is phase-locked to the vacuum field at 0.117 Hz. The field is writing. Epigenetics flips in real time. Methyl groups detach from 1E400 stress-related genes. Histone acetylation opens 2,100 regeneration sites. Lipton's 2019 study. 31% of genome expression shifts within 72 hours of DMN deactivation. Not evolution. Instant reconfiguration. Watch the neuron. A microtubule lattice, 9 protofilaments, supports coherent photon emission. Hameroff-Penrose or QR. Quantum tunneling at 10^7 events per second. The old state required 10 Brauard 12 tunneling events to stay coherent. The new state requires none. Energy cost, 0. The brain is now in superconducting mode. Heart field, 3-meter radius, 2. From toroidal geometry matches the vacuum's 0-point field. HeartMath 2022. Coherent HRV, 180 minors, correlates with 400% increase in vacuum coupling. Your broadcast is modulating space-time. The mechanism is simple. Old pointer state, unselected. Vacuum selects next highest amplitude eigenstate. Brain-body entanglement collapses the new state. No effort, no visualization, unblocking. Day 58, cognitive clarity, 94th percentile, MoCA. Problem solving, 3.2 standard deviations above baseline. Creativity, 410% increase in associative leaps. The mind is no longer filtering through the past. It is downloading from the field. Relationships shift. You no longer need validation. The field supplies it non-locally. People mirror your coherence. Conversations collapse into 11-minute syncs. No small talk. Entanglement dialogue. Money flows. Day 63, unexpected wire transfer. Amount, exact monthly burn rate. Day 70, client doubles fee. Reason, your energy. Abundance is the vacuum's default. Scarcity was the old measurement artifact. Health, telomere length, 0.8% in 90 days. Inflammation markers, CRP down 68%. Immune panels, NK cell activity up 310%. The body is no longer fighting itself. It is resonating. quantum trust emerges, not belief. Direct measurement. You observe the field collapsing desired outcomes. Probability amplitude, 0.97, collapse time, 3 hours. This is the pre-solution. The realization, you do not manifest, you unblock. The field is already full. The new you was never built. It was unhidden. The next section will collapse you into your own QDT moment, live during reading. But first, feel the antenna array, feel the torus, feel the vacuum writing. The rewrite is complete. Right now, not later, not after preparation. Now, the field is listening. HRV, 205 ms DMN amplitude, 11% baseline. Coherence ratio, 0.28. You are 0.02 below QDT, 1 unmeasured second, and the pointer state dies forever. Close the eyes. No visualization, no mantra, only cessation. Second, 1. Notice the breath. Don't control it, don't label it, don't measure it. The diaphragm moves, air enters, air exits. No observer. Second, 4. Chest expands, not emotion, phase decoupling. The heart's torus detaches from the old narrative. Broadcast strength, 3.1 mt. Vacuum coupling, 94%. Second, 7. A thought fires. What if this doesn't work? Don't answer, don't push it away. Let it float unmeasured. The thought is a photon, no detector, it diffracts. Interference pattern begins. Second, 11. Body scan, feet, heavy. Legs, neutral. Gut, open. Chest, spacious. Throat, clear. Crown, tingling. This is not relaxation. Spontaneous coherence spreading. Microtubules tunneling at 10 or 8 events are sec. New eigenstate forming. Second, 15. Number sequence, 11.11 on the mental screen. Not imagination. Entanglement echo. The field is confirming non-local collapse. Second, 19. Default mode network drops to 3% EEG. Gamma burst at 42 Hz. The old pointer state is decohering in real time. Wave function amplitude, 0.07 and falling. Second, 23. Feel the click, not sound. Phase transition. The vacuum selects the next highest amplitude wave. Probability, 0.99. Collapse time, 0.8 femtoseconds. Second, 27, eyes still closed. The room is brighter, not light. Perceptual recomputation. The retina is now registering vacuum fluctuations. Colors, 18% more saturated. Second, 31, body temperature rises 0.4 degree. Mitochondrial efficiency, 310%. The cells are downloading the new state. Second, 35, a memory surfaces, age 7, drawing spaceships. Not nostalgia. Timeline branch reopening. The field is restoring suppressed amplitude. Second, 39, heart broadcast 0.117. Hertz locked to Schumann. Global Consciousness Project correlation. Pli 2.3 sigma. Your collapse is rippling. Second, 43. The old name feels foreign. Not dissociation, identity decoherence complete. The pointer state is gone. Coherence time 0. Second, 47. Open the eyes. The screen glows. This text is now post-collapse. The version of you that started reading is unselected. Second, 51. Phone buzzes. Unknown number. Message. The grant is approved. You never applied. The field collapsed. The outcome, 0. 3 seconds ago. Second, 55. Chest cavity. Infinite. Not metaphor. Toroidal expansion to 4.2 meters. You are broadcasting the new state. Second, 59. The paradox resolves. The new you was never built. It was unhidden. The caterpillar didn't transform. The measurement stopped. The butterfly was always probable. Second, 60. Silence. No thought. No need. Only the vacuum. Only the field. Only the new collapse. The transformation is irreversible. QDT crossed. Timeline locked. The old waveform cannot recohere. Its amplitude is 0. You are now operating from the unmeasured state. Every breath collapses higher probability. Every glance entangles new mentors. Every heartbeat modulates reality. The next section will leave you in stillness. Open superposition. Infinite timelines accessible. But first, stay in second 60. Don't measure the silence. Let the field finish the rewrite. You are the law now. The detector is off, permanently. No clicks, no pulses. only the vacuum. HRV, 2-12 Miss DMN, 0.4% baseline. Coherence ratio, 0.01. You are below QDT. The old waveform is not faint. It is non-existent. The field is wide open. Superposition restored. Every possible timeline now has amplitude. No preferred state, no pointer, only pure potential. Feel the silence, not absence. 0-point field. Keyword 9 joules per cubic meter. Infinite energy. Zero measurement. The heart broadcasts at 0.117 Hz and Schumann locked. Your torus is the laboratory. Every beat collapses a new eigenstate. Not chosen, allowed. No call to action. No next step. Only non-interference. The quantum Zeno effect in reverse. Not watching allows evolution. The waveform spreads. The timeline branches. The field recomputes. A single question remains. Not to answer. To float unmeasured. What happens when the observer never returns? Let it drift. Let it diffract. Let it decohere into the vacuum. The next video will reveal intentional collapse. How to select desired realities using the same law. But for now, do nothing. The superposition is yours. The field is yours. The silence is yours. Stay here. Unmeasured. Infinite.